We are doing our 140th webisode. So we have been on a great ride, and you guys continue to come back as we always are. We're out. I'm living on my newsfeed now. I'm always on an archaeological dig, a hunt, the search for the awesome. Who is the next awesome? Tonight, Miss Christy Mellender. I'm calling her the Bombshell L4AA, and you'll see it in a second. And ironically, that's the name of her salon, Bombshell Beauty Lounge, and she is the bomb. Carrie Rutt and Shannon Rusher are her coaches, and she's located in Gainesville, Virginia. So why did I want her to come in? Look at the stats, you guys. She's here, first of all, to tell her story. She graduates from high school, and I think it was, what was it? It was 2001, does an apprenticeship, goes behind the chair, and look at this ascension, from 10, 20, 30. She gets into the 30s. She starts catching on 50, 60. She has she's on life. Life happens, so becomes a mom in '08. And then she crushes it in '09 at 86. Goes to 93. I almost feel like we're doing a horse race tonight. Second child in 2011, comes back, catches up, and then she cracks the proverbial line in 2013 at 100, 115 and 14, 129 in 2015, and then she discovers the associate program, and then it's like pouring freaking nitroglycerin on a bonfire at 147, 150 in 2017. She's trending to do 160 in 2018. But no, wait, there's more. You guys have to see these stats. I've never seen them before. Level 4 AA, she's 30 something. Her best day, we're going to ask her how she pulled that off tonight. $3,400. I mean, that's like mega explosion on steroids to the 10th freaking power. Her average day is at about 1,700, and it continues to climb. Best week she's ever had is $7,000. 4,500 is her average week. Average service ticket is 190. You can see that her haircut price is 76. So she's almost 2.5 times her haircut price is her average ticket. She's cooking. She's the salon's referral rainmaker. Rebooks 95%. RTS. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I'm just, when you really look at what's really driving her, I think it's the combination of what she's evolved with her associates. She's going to talk a little bit about that. She's going to talk about how she gets into, she adds some special services, and what she's doing on social media. Her handle on both Instagram and Facebook is Christy Mellender, and I've been hanging out on both those pages, and she's even got a private page that she's using to fill in her openings. I'll let her tell you about that. Uses iPhone 8, so she's in the game. Most of her guests are on Facebook, so she's really taking greater advantage of the Facebook platform. 390 IG followers, 85% of her guests follow her, and the overwhelming majority of her referrals in some way, shape, or form, you can find them by coming, on from what she's doing on social media. But Facebook specifically, as you'll see when she tells you the story. 21 guests a week, 10 photo shoots, every color and extension. So I think one of the reasons why she's hitting those big numbers daily over and above what she's doing with her associates is she really is specializing in extension work too. We'll get her to talk about that. She's taken about 10 pictures per shoot. 100% of her new guests review her with selfies and recommend the salon by the tag. And so we're going to get her to talk a little bit about that as well, so she understands the power of reviews and stuff. She uses her group page. She's got a Facebook group page that I'll show you as she's talking about that. And of course, she's just on the front end. She's innovating Facebook Lives of her doing hair. Done a few, posted some tutorials. So she's in the game. So I thought we'd spend a few minutes having her tell you about her story, and then I'm going to get her talking about what she's doing to get these extraordinary days with associates and her social media. So keep your fingers crossed. We're going to go in our proverbial back room, our green room, and see if she's back there. She'll be coming up in a second because my guy is looking for. There she is. Give it up for her, will you guys? Did you hear me bragging on you?
I did. I did. Thank you very
I
much.
hope I didn't freak you out.
No, no, not at all.
Well, we are just so excited to have this conversation. I think if there was a Guinness Book of World Records of how you're crushing it behind the chair, you would either win it hands down or certainly be a strong candidate. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So get us started with your story, Christy. We always like to get the personal part. Like what was your life like before it got wonderful?
Well, prior to becoming a Summit Salon, I've always been in the game of talking to my guests about what they could have to make their hair the best that it could possibly be. So depending on, whether it's frizz and they need a keratin treatment or if they're looking for more volume or length, I would always suggest extensions. But since becoming a Summit Salon, I've really been able to blow up my income just utilizing the associate program. Because prior to having that, I thought I was at a standstill with my income. I was booked all the time. I was working 5 days a week. And there was really nothing else I could do except really jack up my prices, to make more money. So adopting that program and really taking the leap of faith and allowing other people to step in and help me and style my clients has really changed my life, personally and professionally.
So you said a whole bunch of really cool stuff there. So it sounds like before you discovered the associate program in Summit, it wasn't like you were crushing it behind the chair, but it was really depending a lot on hair extensions and stuff. And when you discovered the associate program, it almost like blew the sides off of your creativity box and empowered you to do a whole lot more without killing yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm able to see more guests, more referrals. I'm not turning my referrals away. And my back's not hurting. I have wonderful ladies that help me every day, apply color. They help me with my keratin treatments. They assist in extensions and they do all of the blowout styling for me. So it's really great. It's a win-win for both of us because they're getting the experience and the hands-on training with working with me. And my clients are taking part in it as well because they're really helping to evolve these ladies into wonderful
Well,
stylists.
in addition to crushing it on a daily basis, when you and I were kind of chatting, preparing for this conversation, you were saying, when I started asking you, what is your like now, right? And you were talking about working, you're making as much or more, but working less, but because you continue to develop your family, time now is crucial for you.
It is. It is. Yes. I took the leap of faith January of 2017. Carrie Rutt was our coach at the time. She told me, Christy, you take up way too much real estate in the salon. You do not need to be working Saturdays with your numbers. You're crushing it. I don't know why you're working Saturdays. You need to stop working Saturdays. So I took her advice mostly. I still do work one Saturday a month because I have a lot of clients that do travel far from different states to see me once a month. So I still wanted to stay committed to them. But not only has my income stayed the same, but it actually increased. And I now have more time with my family and my quality of life is better. I only work 3 days a week in the salon.
I really want the group to get this now because the numbers that you're hitting today are extraordinary, but you're doing that inside of a 3 day window of time. So that's really it's a stretch to just wrap our arms around that concept. And as a salon owner, you're opening up by taking Saturdays off. I mean, that's like nirvana for a lot of hairdressers. Like how it's like how she does that. So the other question I'm sure that are on people's mind is, so where do you like go from here? You're on the front end of 30 something. I believe, is it your second child is en route?
Actually, my third.
Number
I do
three.
a daughter as well. So we will have 4 kids. Our baby's due in January. I'm having a C-section January 15th. So I'm actually 8 months pregnant right now.
Oh my God. And where the world doesn't know this, but you and I have been like talking the last week and like you're like a machine, a mean, lean, green hair machine. So you generate just an enormous amount of volume.
Yeah.
So
I think I do okay.
where do you go from here? Like what's next for Christy?
Well, the possibilities are endless, honestly, for myself and my team. We just opened up a larger location in Gainesville and we are thriving. And my husband and I just purchased 30 acres of land. So we're building our dream home out in Culpeper. So we're really excited about that. And we're really excited about our newest addition coming to the family.
So you got a lot on your plate, girl.
I do, but I can handle it. I'm good at multitasking.
Well, so and this is the last word before I'm going to get you talking about, like how you're blowing it up behind the chair. You're in a place now on the front end of 30 something that frankly most people don't get to inside of a 30-year career. And there's a whole bunch of people watching us tonight, and there's going to be a few thousand that are going to be watching this conversation in the next several days. They're at a place that you used to be forever ago. And they're seeing you, they're listening to the story, and they're going, gee, is that possible for me? And if so, in a nutshell, what might you say to them that would give them hope, inspiration, so that someday they might be in a place where you're at now?
Absolutely. First and foremost, never give up. I know in the beginning it's really hard for a lot of stylists. It was hard for me. You'll have clients that come back that aren't happy, and that's just a part of growing and learning. So I always thrive to continue to develop my education. I think it's really important to continue learning, because once you stop learning, you stop growing. And this business is always evolving and always changing. And another thing is just don't ever let no get you down. Just because a client doesn't want to do a service that you recommend, no doesn't mean never. It just means not today. So just definitely don't give up. And my biggest secret to success is just always talking to my guests about what we can do to enhance their look. A lot of guests that I see, especially new clients, when they come in, they left their old stylist because it got stale. The stylist kind of started taking them for granted and treating them as a friend. So I often tell my team, treat it like every time, don't ever stop offering them things.
I love that part where you're kind and considerate and compassionate to your guests, but they don't become best friends forever. You're talking hair, and you're talking, what they're most interested in, which is themselves and their look, and you continue to evolve. That's one of your secrets.
Yes, we do talk all those things, and I am very personable with a lot of my guests. A lot of them I've actually had since I started behind the chair at 17. So, retention is key, building that relationship, but just not letting it get into the friend zone, if you will, where you get to the point where you're so comfortable, you just kind of same thing and trimming it up. You do always want to suggest different ideas.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left, and I'm looking at your stats now. So as I'm looking at you, and you got a best day of $3,400. Your average day of $1,700. You got a best week of $7,000. You got an average week of $4,500. Average ticket just inside of $200. And you work with two associates. So the world, because there's a lot of 4As and 4AAs that are listening to this conversation, or people that are just entering that, and they're going, how in the world is she doing that? What's her best kept secrets? How is she able to pull that off? What do you say to that question?
I would have to say a lot of it has to do with the scheduling, number one. Also retention. My retention with my guests, like I said, I have a lot of clients that I've had for several years. So definitely having that guest count is important, but not just what they're scheduled for, but what you do with them. I mean, I do a lot of dry haircuts. So most of my guests that I see, I'll cut them first. I do the color, I do the highlight. I'm with them for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then it's on to the next guest. And I work with one associate exclusively applying the color. And then my aunt, we're a family owned business. My aunt actually is kind of my second person. She just shampoos. So I technically only work with one that helps me do all the hair and the blow dries. And then my aunt helps to take down the colors and help me in that sense.
So it's almost like you've evolved into your own hybrid, customized version of 4AA, where a family member kind of handles the shampoo part for you. And then your other your associate really handles the part that we're all trained to manage our associates to do.
Yes, exactly. And I make sure once all the styling's done, I don't ever let a guest leave the salon until I've come over and I've checked it, fluffed it, done the photo shoot. I always see the guest off. I think it's so important that you see your guest from the beginning to the end. I don't ever want them to feel like I'm just pushing them off to somebody else. So they start with me. They might finish the styling session with the associate, but they never leave the salon until I've seen them, and I take them to the front and I finish everything on the back end as far as the rebooking and all of that with my front desk team, of course.
So, and I want you to just cover a little bit about that when I look at your stats, you're doing out of 20 guests a week, you're doing approximately 10 photo shoots. Who gets a photo shoot, and how do you like think that through, and how do you make that work inside of your day?
Well, sometimes it's challenging with as busy as it is, but it is important. If I've done something different, of course, I always document it. The transformations is a must. If it's just something different with the styling, sometimes we'll just do something different with the client's style. They might always wear their hair straight and we wave it for that day. So I'll take a picture just to do a photo shoot for them, just so that they can share it with their friends. I think it's important to share the photos of your work with your guests so that they can go online and post them or even text them to their friends, because that's a great way to get referrals.
So I want to really, because what you're saying is real precious. First of all, the content that you're documenting, that's going to find its place on your Instagram page, your salon's Instagram, your Facebook pages, etc. But you're saying that a lot of that work is reposted by your guests on their pages, and you're saying that part really continues to drive in referrals for you.
Absolutely. And they'll even write a review. I will ask them, if you can write a review, that would be great. And they do that as well. So, that really helps to drive referrals to the salon as well.
And the review, would that be where when they're reposting their picture, would they put their review in their comment box? Or when you say review, are they putting that on your Facebook page?
They do it on Facebook on their own page, and I ask that they tag me and the salon in it, so they will write a review along with the pictures, or they'll just do a selfie of themselves if they want to do that, and they'll do it on Facebook.
And so their actual review of their experience with you would go in the comment box of their post on their page, and then they'll tagging you, and that particular review would either live on you'll repost on your page, on your timeline, or it'll find itself in the review section of your Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's huge. Now, we got only a couple minutes left, and I want you to talk about a real unique feature about, because in addition to your pages, you're starting something, and you're like the third or fourth person that I really see making this work. You have a private, I think it's a closed group. You've got 106 members in it, so I'm assuming it's either your guest or people that follow your guest. And I want you to talk about that. While you talk about that, I'm going to hold this up so that people can really see what you're saying.
Okay. So I actually learned about the closed group from watching one of your live shows with Grace Bassick. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. So I decided to take on the challenge and do that just because I've been noticing, and my clients have been noticing, that with the new algorithms of Facebook, they weren't always seeing my post when I post my openings or pictures of my work. So they were telling me they would actually have to look me up. So I decided to create the group. That way, when I do post on my personal Facebook page, I can share it on my stylist page. So I'm cross-posting. That way, if I do have a cancellation, I can fill it. I also did a contest in November, and I gave away a Dyson blow dryer. So there's many different ways to enter and win. That blew it up majorly by people adding their friends, and I got referrals. So it's just a great way to get more exposure and more business for yourself, and I highly recommend it.
So you're saying that your private group Facebook page, primarily for your clients and their friends who are basically potential and referrals, that addendum, that add-on to your social media strategies is a very big deal.
Yes, it is.
And how long have you had this particular page, your private group page? How long has it been in play?
I started it in November.
Okay, so it's really, we're talking probably 6-7 weeks, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it really did make a difference. So this is extraordinary stuff, and so you're saying that the combination of that and what how you're working with your associates behind the chair, that continues to drive, is responsible for driving up your business to the place where it's at, where you're having, $1,700 average days and best yets of 3,400 and days and $7,000 weeks.
Absolutely, because you always need more guests. Am I right? I mean, people move away, people can't afford you, things happen, life happens. So that's definitely huge, as you always have to be looking for new guests.
I love it. Well, we're out of time. We actually went a few minutes over because I really wanted the world to see and hear, what you're doing behind the chair and how you're managing your schedule, how you're working with your associates, your tickets, as well as what you're doing. And I think what you're doing on social media, Facebook and the private group page, I'm going to call it simply genius. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Listen, we're out of time. I want to keep an eye on you. You're always going to be a major blip on my radar. I want to stay close to you once you get on the other end of what did you say, your third edition?
Yeah, third edition. I do have a bonus daughter as well, so this will be number 4 as far as kids go.
Well, yes. I want to touch base with you probably Q1, Q2 next year and see what's going to be happening, because I have a feeling you're just getting warmed up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Godspeed in 2019, and thank you after a long day for giving us some of your wisdom tonight. Let's give it up one more time for Christy. Would you please, you guys? I'll text you later and just touch base. Okay, thanks, Michael. All right, stay well, my friend. That was an extraordinary interview. What I see her doing, I mean, if I had to kind of summarize what she's saying is that over the last, it sounds like what changed the trajectory in Christy's life was when she was introduced to the associate program. I mean, if you really look at her trends, she wasn't doing bad, you guys. She actually cracked into 6 figures, and then she learns the associate program. It's 2016. That's not that long ago. What are we talking about? 2 years, 2.5, going on 3 years ago, and it just exploded. And that's where her days just went through the roof. I mean, a $1,700 day with a best yet of 3,400. Now, I quizzed her a little bit about that, and she said she had some hair extensions in that number. So yeah, you can take that into consideration. But it's still, I mean, she's crushing it big time. And what I really liked about what she was talking about was her on her social media strategy. She's using a closed group. The group, I'm looking at it, I don't know if you can see that, it's just over 100 members, but all of those members are her guests or friends that follow her guests, which, by the way, are referrals. And she's saying this now is her latest, greatest addition. This has become the nitroglycerin that she's pouring on her bonfire. So I think the interview was nothing short of extraordinary. Now Christy is, she's watching. She went back on her mobile. She's watching this now. Give it up for one more time, you guys. All right, so what we want to do then is I really want to kind of end the evening as we always do, because I know there's a number of people that are new to the conversation, whether they're watching live tonight or they're going to be. So you right now are on Michael Cole Summit, that's Facebook. And this particular page, frankly, has become now the social media learning channel for people that work in salon, spa companies in the Summit Salon community. So you're going to want to be on this page. We're going to be doing another complimentary webinar on Monday night. Luke Hufstetter, who is the team leader for the Summit Social Digital team as well. So you're going to want to tune in on Monday at 8 o'clock Central for that. And that you can actually scroll on this page and it'll give you some information on that. That the same handle, Michael Cole Summit, will get you on my Instagram page as well. And I am blogging on Instagram, and they're really more inspirational, motivational, social, emotional quotes to kind of keep us in the game. So I hope you hang out. there as well. If you go Michael Cole Summit on YouTube, you're going to find all of the recordings that we do. I probably have, I don't know, 250, 300 YouTubes now that we've done. And so if you put Summit on the back end of my name, because Summit now has become my last name, you'll find me on social media. You'll find me on Instagram, you'll find me on YouTube, you'll find it on Facebook as well. So please take us up on that. The other thing that I wanted to tell you to start hanging out on, if you're not already, is on summitsalon.com. That .com now has a whole bunch of digital tools, resources that a lot of people are going to on a daily basis. They're using from tracking, mobile calculators to help them to set day goals that are tied into their annual income, to tracking apps. These are all free, you guys, so that they can begin to measure what they treasure and know when they're in a position to raise their prices. The Summit Salon Consulting Group now are using these digital tools and resources to help their to help the people that they're coaching to blow up their income. So this is webisode 140. And if you went to summitsalon.com and you slashed MC Live, you're going to see all 140 webisodes that have been curated, sequenced. We now have them on micro learning, where you can, like see the 2 to 3 minute essence of an interview or a 5-minute rendition. Certainly, you do not have to necessarily watch an interview to be prospered by it. Many of you now are Bluetoothing your mobile devices to your cars and then pulling up the YouTubes and experiencing that content as a podcast. So I would really encourage you to do that as well. We have I want to do a shameless plug for this because it's extraordinary. Forever, we've had the Summit Salon Planner, and now we've re-engineered, we've reinvented that resource to be a social digital planner, where now we're coaching you to look at the openings of your day and begin to use that downtime to learn the multitude of new skill sets that we need to master to become social media Jedis, whether we're using Instagram, Facebook, or both, and using those platforms as digital lookbooks behind the chair, or as Christy so brilliantly said tonight, filling in last minute openings. I mean, it goes on and on and on. This is the book that we're using to do that. And if you go on summitsalon.com, on that page, you'll actually see a tutorial that you can watch before you even buy the darn book, to make sure that you really understand and can see it in play. We've sold thousands of them in a very short period of time. So I really wanted to encourage you to check that resource out as well. Listen, we're running out of time, as we always do. I like to always end it with gratitude. Thank you, L'Oreal Professional Product Divisions, which, by the way, include Redken, Matrix, L'Oreal Professional, Kerastase, S.E. Baxter. I'm going to have somebody interview in February from Baxter on barbering. So that's going to be kind of cool. I'll surprise you with that. Pureology, Shoe, Mazzani. These are all brands that are L'Oreal Professional Product Division. Why am I telling you this? Because their financial support allows us to bring this kind of content to you. And if you really follow us on our news feeds, there's many of you now that are posting, I just watched this particular webisode, or I suggested to one of my peers or somebody that I'm leading to watch this webisode, and their average ticket blew up, their income's blowing up, their referrals are blowing up. So this is really, without their support, we couldn't make that happen. And then, of course, the distribution arm, Salon Centric, State Beauty Supply, RDA ProMart, thank you, because they're partnered with the brands to be able to serve you and support you in that way. And last but not least, Summit Salon Business Center, all of my homies, my colleagues, the coaches, they continue to evolve and transform, because these are the people that help you to hold yourself accountable, to implement what you're learning, so that you can continue to blow it up as well. So we're out of time. I want to say good night to you. Wish and invite you back to watch us on Monday night as we do a webinar with Luke Hofstetter called 3 Common Mistakes, Social Media Mistakes that salon owners make when they're trying to blow up sales and referrals. So thank you and good night.